Ladies, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is not just about men. It's about you reclaiming your power, your dignity, and your future. Too many women give away their energy, their confidence, and their worth because they believe love requires sacrifice at any cost. But what if I told you that love was never supposed to strip you of your identity? What if I told you that the fastest way to lose respect, to lose attraction, and to lose yourself is to do the wrong things for the wrong man? You see, relationships are meant to be partnerships. Two people bringing their best selves forward, lifting each other higher. But when one person begins to carry the entire weight, when one person sacrifices their soul just to keep the other person happy, that relationship becomes toxic. And the harsh truth, most men will not stop you from giving too much, because comfort always welcomes what costs them nothing. I want you to picture this. Imagine pouring water into a cup with no bottom. No matter how much you give, no matter how much you sacrifice, that cup will never be full. That's what happens when you give to a man who does not value you. That's what happens when you do the things you should never do. So today, I'm not here to just motivate you. I'm here to give you the truth, raw, unfiltered, life-changing truth. Because if you can master this, if you can set the right boundaries, if you can stop doing the things that drain your soul for a man who doesn't deserve it, you will rise. You will become magnetic. You will command respect, not by begging for it, but by embodying it. And so, let's break it down. 10 powerful keys, 10 shifts that will change how you love, how you show up, and how you never again lose yourself in the process. Self-respect is the foundation of every relationship you'll ever have. If you lose it, everything else crumbles. The moment you sacrifice your dignity to hold on to someone who isn't treating you right, you begin to lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, the relationship is already over. You're just delaying the inevitable. Too often, women tolerate disrespect, excuses, broken promises, or even outright lies because they're afraid of being alone. They think, if I let him go, what if I never find someone else? What if I'm not good enough? That fear is the leash that keeps you chained to a man who doesn't even value you. But here's the truth. The more you lower your standards, the more you teach him how little effort he has to put in. If you accept less than you deserve, he'll give you less every single time. Respect is not something you should have to beg for. It should be automatic. It should be the air you breathe in a relationship. And when it's missing, you don't negotiate with it. You don't try to earn it. You demand it by the way you carry yourself, by the way you set boundaries, and by the way you walk away when those boundaries are broken. The most magnetic women are the ones who refuse to bend when it comes to self-worth. Think about it. If you respect yourself deeply, you'll never need to scream for respect from someone else. It will radiate from you. A man will either step up to meet you at that level, or he will fall away. And if he falls away, good, because your self-respect should never be up for negotiation. At the end of the day, a man who truly values you will never want you to lower your standards. He'll rise to meet them. But it all starts with you. Never hand over your crown to keep someone else comfortable. Hold your head high, protect your dignity, and understand this: self-respect isn't selfish, it's survival. Imagine this: you had a vision long before you met him. You had goals, dreams, passions that lit a fire in your soul. And then, somewhere along the way, you started dimming that fire because he felt threatened or uncomfortable or uninterested. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can ever make. Here's the harsh reality. If you give up your dreams for a man, resentment will grow. It may not show on the first day, the first month, or even the first year, but slowly, a silent bitterness will creep in. Because deep down, you'll know you gave up the very thing that made you feel alive. Men respect women who live with purpose. Passion is magnetic. Drive is attractive. If you abandon that for his comfort, you're not only betraying yourself, you're teaching him that his life, his goals, his world will always come before yours. That dynamic becomes toxic because the relationship becomes lopsided. One person is building, growing, creating, and the other is shrinking. Don't get it twisted. Love requires compromise, but compromise is not the same as sacrifice. Compromise is, let's meet in the middle. Sacrifice is, I'll erase myself so you can shine. And the moment you erase yourself, you'll start to disappear in his eyes too. Your passions are part of your identity. They are what make you unique, vibrant, unstoppable. When you honor them, you send a message, I am a whole person, and I will never abandon my own destiny for anyone else's comfort. And believe me, the right man will celebrate that. The wrong man will be intimidated by it. And that's how you'll know the difference. So guard your dreams like gold. Keep chasing them. Keep building them. Keep expanding into the highest version of yourself. Because love is never about losing yourself. It's about finding someone who cheers for the woman you're becoming. Relationships are energy exchanges. They thrive when both people show up fully. But too many women fall into the trap of overgiving, of pouring every ounce of love, time, money, and effort into a man who barely lifts a finger in return. That is not love. That is self-abandonment. Think about it. If you're the only one calling, texting, planning, fixing, compromising, apologizing, chasing, what does that say? It says you're carrying two people's worth of energy in a relationship meant for two, and that will eventually burn you out. Worse, it teaches him that he doesn't have to try, because you'll always do it for him. The strongest relationships are balanced, not always 50-50, because sometimes life demands 70-30 or 63-40, but there must be reciprocity. There must be a genuine back and forth where both people feel valued, seen, and invested. If you're doing 100 while he's doing 10, that's not balance, that's exploitation. Here's the truth. When you overinvest, you create a dynamic where he can underinvest. You enable his laziness. You cushion his irresponsibility. And the longer you do it, the more invisible your needs become. So what's the solution? Pull your energy back. Match effort with effort. If he calls, call back. If he shows up, show up. But never ever build a castle for a man who won't even bring a brick. This isn't about playing games. It's about self-worth. If he's serious, he'll rise to meet you. If he's not, he'll fade away. Either way, you win, because you're no longer exhausting yourself to keep something alive that was already dying. You deserve love that feels mutual. You deserve someone who gives as much as you do. Never settle for one-sided effort, because the moment you stop over-investing, you'll see who's truly willing to show up and who was only there for what you gave, not for who you are. One of the most dangerous traps women fall into is excusing a man's bad behavior. You know what I'm talking about? The little voice that says, he didn't mean it. He was just tired. He's under a lot of stress. That's just how he is. Every time you excuse his disrespect, his lies, his inconsistency, or even his emotional unavailability, you lower the bar for how you deserve to be treated. Here's the truth: what you allow will continue. If you keep covering up for him, you're not only hurting yourself, you're teaching him that there are no consequences for mistreating you. And once a man knows you'll tolerate it, why would he ever change? Love is not blind acceptance of abuse, neglect, or disrespect. Love does not require you to carry the weight of someone else's immaturity. A healthy man, a man who values you, will take accountability. He won't just apologize with words, he'll back it up with actions. He'll grow. He'll adjust. He'll fight to keep your trust. But when you excuse bad behavior, you rob him of that chance. You cushion his faults instead of holding him accountable. And over time, you stop recognizing yourself. You start feeling small, weak, trapped, because deep down you know you've been lying to yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop rewriting his flaws into fairy tales. Stop pretending that disrespect is just how he is. When someone shows you their patterns, believe them. And when you believe them, you have power. You have clarity. You have the courage to either demand better or walk away. You deserve a man whose actions align with his words. You deserve consistency, honesty, kindness, respect. And that starts when you stop covering for the man who refuses to give it. Money is power. And in relationships, power dynamics matter. When you become fully dependent on a man for your financial survival, you give away one of your greatest freedoms, the freedom of choice. Suddenly, your decisions are no longer based on what's healthy or fulfilling, but on what you can afford to risk. Too many women stay in toxic, loveless, even abusive relationships because they feel trapped financially. They think, where would I go? How would I survive? I need him. And that need becomes a prison. But here's the reality. Your independence is not negotiable. You must have something that is yours. Your own career, your own income, your own savings, your own power. It doesn't mean you can't share resources in a healthy partnership. It doesn't mean you can't build together. But it does mean that if tomorrow everything crumbles, you're not left broken and helpless. A man will respect you more when he knows you're with him because you want to be, not because you have to be. Dependence breeds control. Independence breeds freedom. So never abandon your financial security for love. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep building. Have your own accounts. Have your own backup plan. Love is beautiful, but love should never cost you your freedom. Because the truth is, a woman who is financially independent is unshakable. She doesn't cling out of fear. She doesn't beg. She doesn't shrink. She chooses. And that choice is where your power lives. Have you ever bitten your tongue just to avoid conflict? Have you swallowed your truth because you didn't want to upset him? Have you ever said, "It's fine," when deep down it was not fine at all? That habit may feel like you're keeping the peace, but what you're really doing is killing your own spirit one silence at a time. A relationship built on silence is a relationship built on sand. It will eventually collapse because your needs matter, your feelings matter, your perspective matters. And if you're constantly silencing yourself, you're not being loved for who you are, you're being tolerated for who you pretend to be. True intimacy requires honesty. It requires the courage to say, "That hurt me," or "I need more from you," or "This isn't working for me." It's not about nagging, blaming, or starting fights. It's about being authentic. Because without authenticity, love becomes a performance. When you silence your voice, you may think you're keeping him happy. But what's really happening is you're training yourself to disappear. And disappearing in a relationship is one of the loneliest experiences you can ever have. The right man, the man who truly loves you, will want to know your truth. Even if it's uncomfortable, he'll respect you more for speaking up. He'll listen. He'll adjust. And if he doesn't, if every time you share your feelings he dismisses, mocks, or ignores you, that's not peace. That's oppression. Your voice is your power. Use it, set boundaries, express your needs, speak your truth with strength and clarity. Because if your love requires silence, it's not love, it's submission. And you were never born to shrink. You were born to rise. One of the most destructive patterns in relationships is the chase. He pulls back, and suddenly you're calling, texting, begging for answers, asking, "What's wrong? Did I do something? Please talk to me." And the more you chase, the faster he runs. Here's the hard truth: when a man pulls away, chasing him doesn't bring him back. It pushes him further. Why? Because desperation is not attractive. Pressure is not attractive. What's attractive is self-worth. What's magnetic is confidence. When you chase, you flip the balance of energy. Instead of two equals, you become the pursuer and he becomes the prize. But love isn't about hunting someone down. Love is about meeting in the middle. It's about mutual desire, not one-sided effort. Think about it. If he pulls away and you let him go, one of two things will happen. Either he'll come back because he values you, or he won't because he doesn't. Both answers are a gift because they give you clarity. But if you chase, you'll never know if he's with you out of genuine choice or just out of guilt and obligation. The strongest women don't run after men, they attract them. They understand their worth, and they let space reveal the truth. If he's the right man, he'll return with clarity, with effort, with renewed commitment. And if he's not, your silence will expose it. So next time he pulls back, don't panic. Don't beg. Don't chase. Lean back, breathe, focus on yourself, and let him decide whether he's capable of meeting you at your level. Because the truth is, if you have to chase him, he was never yours to begin with. A relationship is not a daycare. You are not his mother. You are not his therapist. You are not his savior. Yet so many women fall into the trap of trying to fix a man, teaching him how to communicate, how to grow up, how to take responsibility, how to love properly. Here's the problem: the moment you start mothering him, the polarity of attraction shifts. You stop being his partner and start being his parent. And no man wants to make love to his mother. The dynamic becomes unbalanced and eventually attraction dies. Now, don't get me wrong, supporting your partner is natural. We all want to see the people we love grow and evolve. But there's a difference between supporting and saving. Supporting says, "I believe in you and I'll cheer you on." Saving says, "You're broken and I need to fix you." And the truth is, you can't fix a man who doesn't want to fix himself. If he's emotionally unavailable, if he's irresponsible, if he refuses to grow, those are his choices, his wounds, his work, not yours. The moment you take on the role of fixer, you start draining yourself of energy while he sits back in comfort. Why would he change if you're doing all the work for him? A healthy man doesn't need a mother. He needs a partner, someone to walk beside him, not someone to drag him forward. So stop trying to repair men who refuse to repair themselves. Stop treating relationships like rescue missions. And remember, it's not your job to raise a man. It's your job to choose a man who's already raised. One of the saddest things I see in relationships is when a woman completely loses herself. Before him, she had friends, hobbies, passions, goals. But slowly, she starts giving them up. She stops going out. She stops doing what she loves. She stops being the woman she was, because she thinks being with him should be her entire world. But here's the truth: if you lose yourself in love, you'll eventually lose the love too. Why? Because the very person he fell for, the confident, vibrant, interesting woman, disappears. And what's left is someone clingy, dependent, and drained. That is not attraction. That's suffocation. Your identity is not negotiable. You are more than someone's girlfriend, wife, or partner. You are a whole human being. And the right man will never want you to give that up. He'll encourage you to shine, to grow, to explore, to keep your individuality alive. Because he knows that a healthy relationship is not two halves becoming one. It's two wholes creating something even greater together. When you lose yourself, you become easy to manipulate, easy to control, easy to discard, because you've put all your worth in his hands. But when you stay rooted in your identity, when you protect the things that make you you, you remain powerful. You remain magnetic. So don't abandon yourself for love. Keep your friendships alive. Keep your passions burning. Keep your independence strong. Because when you stand fully in your identity, you don't just attract love. You attract respect. Here's the truth that will set you free: the love you accept is the love you believe you deserve. And too many women settle, not because they can't find better, but because deep down they don't believe they're worthy of better. Settling looks like convincing yourself, at least he's here. Settling sounds like, well, no one's perfect, right? Settling feels like waking up every day with an H in your chest because you know this is not the love you dreamed of, but you're too afraid to walk away. But here's the reality: you don't rise by lowering your standards. You don't attract respect by accepting disrespect. You don't create a fulfilling life by clinging to mediocrity. Settling doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you stuck. Respect yourself enough to demand more. Demand consistency. Demand effort. Demand partnership. Because when you settle for scraps, you block yourself from ever experiencing the feast. The love you deserve is out there, but you'll never find it if you keep holding on to less. And let's be honest, sometimes it's not even about him. It's about you. Do you truly believe you're worthy of extraordinary love? Do you truly believe you deserve someone who cherishes you, values you, uplifts you? Because the moment you decide you do, the moment you refuse to compromise on your worth, everything shifts. The right man will never see your standards as too much. He'll see them as a reflection of your value. The wrong man will call you difficult or demanding, and that's your signal to walk away. So promise yourself this: never again will you settle for half love, half effort, half respect. Because you were not born to live a half life. You were born to experience the fullness of love, the kind that doesn't just look good on the outside, but feels right in your soul. Ladies, everything I've shared with you today boils down to one thing: self-worth. Every point, every truth, every boundary you must hold is about protecting your soul, your dignity, and your future. Because love without respect is not love, it's a trap. And once you understand that, you'll never again settle for less than you deserve. The mistakes we talked about, sacrificing self-respect, giving up your dreams, over-investing, excusing bad behavior, silencing your voice, they're not just bad habits. They're silent killers of confidence, passion, and attraction. And when you let them go, when you stop doing these things, you create space for something greater. You create space for a healthy, balanced, empowering love. But remember this: it's not just about men. It's about you. It's about how you see yourself. It's about the standards you set, the boundaries you protect, and the energy you radiate. Because when you love yourself deeply, you teach others how to love you. And the man who's meant for you will never require you to shrink in order to be loved. So today is not just a call to reflection. It's a call to action. It's a call to reclaim your crown, to honor your dreams, to demand reciprocity, to use your voice, and to never again accept less than extraordinary love. You don't need to chase, to beg, to fix, or to settle. You need only to stand tall in the fullness of your worth and let the right man rise to meet you. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop fearing loss. You stop fearing loneliness. You stop fearing rejection because you realize you were never incomplete without him. You were whole all along. And love, true love, is simply the celebration of two whole souls choosing to walk together, not one person carrying the weight of both. That is the love you deserve. That is the love you must never compromise on. Ladies, thank you for giving me your time, your energy, and your heart today. Remember, this message is not just words, it's a mirror reflecting back to you the power, the beauty, and the worth you already carry inside. As you leave today, carry this truth with you. You are enough. You have always been enough, and you will never again have to bend, shrink, or sacrifice yourself just to keep love alive. The right love will honor you exactly as you are. So keep rising, keep shining, keep choosing yourself first. Because the man who deserves you will never ask you to do otherwise. This is your time. This is your power. This is your life. Own it. Protect it. Live it fully. Thank you and goodbye. Until next time, keep walking with confidence and courage.